and something that they very easily could do. So I've been trying to get the guy that owns Zelda Dungeon to play Metroid games for forever, and I've got him on Super, I've got him on Fusion, and so he's like, I'm gonna pick up Metroid Prime, but like, I don't like the HUD, and like it takes up 1/3 of the screen, which is ridiculous.
How do you not like the HUD? That's one of the best parts.
Don't get me started. Anyways, so
you can even make the HUD. You can turn the HUD off if you don't want it.
That's what I'm getting at. I was just like, this game is so accessible. I was like, here, jabroni, like you could completely turn this off if you do not want to see it. I don't remember that being in the original. Maybe it is, but
I think it was actually.
If it was, wrong, but okay. Well, just another example of how fantastic the original game is. But I happened to see that like minutes after he was like about the HUD, and I was like, there you go. There's another accessibility option that makes it so simple, so easy, so user friendly for you. There you go. Buy Metroid Prime.
Isn't there even like a colorblind mode in this game or something? Like
that caught me so off guard.
Like, that's accessibility right there.
Colorblind options in a Nintendo game. Like, are we sure that we're not all in some collective coma right now? Like, how is that a real sentence that we're saying right now?
And I think even adding dual analog makes the game a lot more accessible too, because now these days the tank controls don't make any sense to anyone that has ever played a video game in the past 20 years, really. And I think this game itself becomes more accessible when you can look up and down while moving easily. It makes platforming so much easier. It allows you to kind of like traverse environments so much easier. So like for people who have been playing the game for a while, like at this point, I'm actually really looking forward to play on hard mode, because on normal you can just like run past so many enemies, which actually I find kind of fun because it's like an obstacle course as you just dodge stuff. And when you get so many energy tanks, you like tank everything, you don't have to worry about taking damage. But like now that I can like smoothly move around the environment with dual analog, look up and down, it feels like a completely different game.
I completely agree.
Like it feels like it opens up the game so much more because you don't feel so limited and like digitally looking around. Like you can like take in the environment in much more natural capacity. You can move between targets so much easier. You can look at what you're doing when you're jumping from platform to platform. You can look at where you're about to land instead of just like looking straight for no reason.
Yes, you know where I really noticed that was a crashed frigate. And you know when you're going in the main sector and like you got to jump from platform to platform. God, like it was so nice to be able to look down and be like, okay, I'm not in fact overshooting this platform. I'm gonna land and then I can jump again.
It really shows like how much the original controls held back the game, I think, really. Like I think that was the biggest issue that the original game had, and even then it was still playable for sure. It didn't hold it back too much, but had it had dual analog controls like from the get-go, I think it would have made such a difference, and I'm glad now that we have them. Even like the gyro stuff, which I haven't done. I only played dual analog so far. It really functions really well. I would say the only issue I have with the dual analog, and I wish there were some ways to adjust this in the settings, there's no like sensitivity like slider, and when you look up and down,
I'm pretty sure there is a sensitivity slider.
Is there? When I looked in the options I didn't see one, but maybe I missed it. But what I don't like, at least on default, and maybe you can change it, but on default, without changing anything, just picking dual analog, looking up and down is not the same sensitivity as looking left to right. You look left and right faster than you look up and down, which is not a big deal, but I noticed it a ton. I'm like, please, like I just want to look up real quick. Looking left to right, no big deal. And I even noticed there's almost a difference in sensitivity from the Pro Controller to the Joy-Cons, because I felt looking with the Joy-Con controller, or the camera with the Joy-Con, felt a little looser. Felt like I had higher sensitivity, whereas with the Pro Controller, it felt a little tighter. It wasn't as sensitive. Right. So I don't know. I'll have to look in the options. Maybe that's something you can change around. But that was one thing I noticed about dual analog, is not having that one-to-one sensitivity on the Y and X axis. But otherwise, I mean, it's dual analog. It's so good.
A bit. I agree. Like a bit. Like not. I wouldn't have even probably.
Very little.
Very little.
Minuscule.
Like
yes.
But it's noticeable. A little stiff. That's all. Like I don't remember if it was specifically going up and down. If I trust you, you're probably right.
She just has a stiff neck. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, that's I mean the controls are incredible, and they brought back some of the good stuff that they included in Metroid Prime Trilogy, which for me is like the spring ball. I love the spring ball. It is kind of awkward when you're, because I've been playing in handheld and like there's no button assigned to it, so you kind of gotta.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Is there a button assigned to it?
Yeah, it's Y.
What?
That's why.
Oh my god. Okay. Well then completely never mind. I've been like tilting my Switch up.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's a button press.
I've got like 3 of the energy tanks that you have to do like a couple of the bomb jumps for just by doing like this.
That always threw me off because, or at least it's thrown me off in this game because the jump for spring ball is different than your jump.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So like that was one thing I had to get used to is that I would hit the wrong button at first.
Oh my god, this is unbelievable.
But that's interesting you bring that up because I wanted to save that question for next time. But since you brought up the spring ball. So the spring ball, from what I remember, was not in the original Metroid Prime. They added that for Trilogy and like the new play control, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you think the spring ball should have been kept in as is, or
Yes.
should it have been not in the game as it was in the original game?
No, I would have kept it. Yeah, for sure.
So I would have kept it. I will say there is one particular puzzle, and I think you know where I'm going to get to this. There's an energy tank in Magmore Caverns.
Mm-hmm.
That requires a lot of double jumping, and if you mess it up, you fall into the lava. But with the spring ball, it completely negates that entirely because
it's significantly easier.
Because the bombs
don't blow
destroy
up the thing. Yeah,
exactly. So, I think that's the one exception where I think the spring ball kind of takes it out. But otherwise, I think it's an absolutely wonderful quality of life improvement.
Yeah, I think it adds a lot, personally, like, because I never, like, I get what you're saying. It's like kind of an extra challenge, an extra element of danger, but like that's kind of one and
it's
like
one puzzle. It's a sacrifice.
And who wants to fall in lava? Let's be real here.
I think also that puzzle is one that I think a lot of people would just end up missing in general because they might not put it together that they need to bomb jump all the way up there.
Yeah.
So I think it would only really affect people who like are a little more dedicated players. That said, I wish there was
that don't have the skill to pull it off, and eventually it's just like they're just like, forget this, it's not worth it.
Right. Yeah. I think there should be if there isn't one, maybe there is. I think there should be a toggle because if I were to play on like hard mode, I would be like, oh, I don't want the spring ball. I want to be able to I would have forced myself to only have to bomb jump. I wish it were a toggle. I wish it wasn't the default because I agree it does smooth like the difficulty scale there a little tiny bit in a portion of the game. That said, I do think it makes the game again a little more accessible to people because bomb jump puzzles can kind of be a little technical. I think for someone who's never played a Metroid Prime game or an FPS before, or even I guess not FPS, it's a morph ball puzzle, but like someone who's never played Metroid Prime before may not be able to pull those off very easily. Like, why not give them the spring ball? I think because this is again going to be tons of people's like entry point into the Metroid Prime series. For people like us who've been playing for a while, a bomb puzzle's no big deal. For someone who's never played before, spring ball definitely helps. And you still have to get the rest of the way too, and it also streamlines the game too because there's a bunch of there's a bunch of areas in the game where you only need a single bomb to get into like a tunnel, by the way. And now it's like, oh, I can just spring jump into it. It just like streamlines the experience a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I like it. It just makes that traversal so much faster and smoother.
I can't believe there's an assign button. You guys blew my mind. I will say too,
you've been going like this the whole time to jump. Are you
legitimately, I've literally been like I'm surprised I haven't hit myself in the forehead with my Switch.